We're talking about the 1977 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. A coin so ordinary looking, you could mistake it for pocket change. But the truth is, some rare varieties of this coin have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and the highest recorded sale reached nearly $1 million. Let that sink in. 1 cent flipped into almost $1 million now. Before you go flipping over the couch cushions, stick with me. Because in the next 20 minutes, I'm going to walk you through exactly what makes this coin so valuable, how to identify the right one, and how you can turn your hidden treasures into a lifestyle of abundance. And yes, I'll even show you what not to do. You don't want to accidentally spend a six-figure penny at the gas station on a stale pack of gum. Let's rewind to 1977. Disco was king, gas was under $1, and Abraham Lincoln was staring out from billions of copper pennies. But not all of them were the same. Most pennies from that year were minted in Philadelphia, hence, no mint mark. Sounds common, right? Here's the twist. Some of these coins were struck with rare die errors, doubling on the lettering or Lincoln's profile, misalignments, and highly unusual copper compositions that make collectors go wild. Now, not all 1977 pennies are created equal. Your average one might fetch you $1 or $2, but the ones we're after? Those have something special. They whisper secrets to trained eyes. A slight doubling in the motto, "In God We Trust." A faint halo around Lincoln's profile. A luster that glows differently under the light. These aren't coins. They're gold mines in disguise. And speaking of disguise, quick question. Ever spend a penny thinking it was worthless, only to find out it could have paid your mortgage? No? Good. Let's keep it that way. If the answer is yes to any of these, congratulations. You might be holding something far more valuable than 1 cent. One flawless 1977 no-mint mark penny sold for $857,000 in a private auction. Why? Rarity, demand, and timing. Okay, but where do I even begin? Don't worry. We're not just here to drool over expensive pennies. We're here to take action. Let's break it down. You want to sell your old coins? First, grab a magnifier. Not the kind you borrowed from your kid's science kit. Get a proper coin loupe. You're hunting for fine details here. Second, research completed sales, not listings, not hopeful dreams. Look at actual auctions. Real money. Real buyers. And third, connect with a certified coin dealer or numismatist. Someone with credibility. And trust me, in this industry, credibility is everything. You dig through that old drawer, and tucked between a broken key and a rusted safety pin, you find it. A shiny 1977 penny, pristine, glowing like it just left the mint yesterday. That's not just excitement. That's legacy. That's the sound of your life changing in an instant. The fear of never catching a break, gone. The stress of living paycheck to paycheck, over. The dream of retiring early, traveling, or finally buying that lake house, real. This isn't just about a coin. It's about reclaiming the wealth hidden right under our noses. It's about recognizing that sometimes the smallest things hold the biggest value. Will you walk past those pennies? Or will you start looking, really looking? Because someone, somewhere, is going to cash in. Someone's going to find the treasure. Why not you? But you've got to act now. These coins are vanishing into private collections fast. The market is heating up, and high-value collectors are on the hunt. Don't wait. Don't let another day go by without knowing what's sitting in your own home. If you want to live a wealthy lifestyle, not just dream about it, it starts with awareness, action, and just a little curiosity. And remember, 1 penny won't change your life, but the right penny? The right penny absolutely can. In our next video, I'll reveal another Lincoln penny from a different year that's even rarer, and it just sold for $1.30 million. You'll have to tune in and find out. What if I told you that one of the most common coins in your pocket could be worth a fortune? I'm talking about the 1981 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. This simple, humble penny could be sitting in your collection right now, and it might be worth over $747,000. Sounds crazy, right? You're probably thinking, it's just a penny. But what if this penny, sitting right in front of you, was your ticket to a life-changing windfall? Today, we're diving deep into how this coin went from a regular penny to a near $1 million treasure. You might want to check your pockets after watching this. Stick with me until the end of this video, because what I'm about to reveal could completely change your financial future. All right, let's start with the basics. You're probably asking, how did this penny, a coin that you find in rolls at any bank, end up worth nearly $750,000? It's not a typo, folks. This 1981 no-mint mark penny has one of the most fascinating and rare characteristics in the coin world. You see, mint marks are usually stamped on the coins by the US Mint to indicate where they were produced. But in 1981, something unusual happened. A batch of pennies came out without any mint mark. They were an oversight, and this tiny error makes them incredibly rare today. Now, I want you to think about this for a second. In the world of rare coins, scarcity equals value. It's the law of supply and demand. So, a 1981 penny with no mint mark is a rare treasure. But why do people pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for it? The rarity is what matters here. You could have a 1981 penny in your collection and never know that it's worth a small fortune. Let me guess, you're already scanning your coin jar, right? Well, before you start pulling out pennies like it's a lottery ticket, hold your horses. It's not just any 1981 penny. There's a catch.so now that you know the basics. Let's talk about how the value of these pennies skyrocketed. Here's the deal. In the world of numismatics, that's coin collecting talk. The 1981 no mint mark penny is considered a key error coin. When collectors and investors spot a rare coin, it's like finding a diamond in the rough. They're willing to pay top dollar for it.in 2022. One of these pennies sold at auction for $747,000. That's right, a single penny. Imagine if you could hold something like that in your hands, something that was worth more than a house in many parts of the US. But here's the catch. Not every 1981 penny is worth that much. You need to know what to look for. It comes down to condition, rarity, and proof of its minting error. Coins that are in pristine condition, often graded by professional organizations like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation (NGC), fetch the highest prices. So if you've got one of these coins lying around, there's a chance that it could be worth way more than the 1 cent you thought it was. But this isn't just about collecting coins for fun. It's about seizing an opportunity. People are making real money from these rare pennies, and if you're serious about turning your old coins into wealth, you need to act fast. The market for rare coins is hot right now, and those who sit on the sidelines are missing out. The longer you wait, the less likely it is that you'll be able to capitalize on this rare opportunity. That sounds great, but how do I even find one of these pennies? Stay tuned. In just a moment, I'm going to show you exactly how to spot a 1981 no mint mark penny in your collection, and believe me, you don't want to miss this. But first, let's dive a little deeper into why this penny holds such tremendous value. The market for rare coins, including this penny, is growing, but it's also highly competitive. The longer you wait to sell or find one of these coins, the more challenging it will be to make a significant profit. Why? Because as word gets out about these rare pennies, more and more collectors are on the hunt. The demand is increasing, and the supply is limited. This is why it's crucial for you to act quickly. If you have a 1981 no mint mark penny, the time to get it appraised and potentially sell it is now. You don't want to be the person who stumbles upon this penny 10 years down the line when it's not worth nearly as much. The window of opportunity is open, but it won't stay open forever. You don't have to be a coin expert to start building your wealth through rare coins. You can start today by taking action. Whether you're looking to sell some of your old pennies, get them appraised, or even learn more about rare coins, there are plenty of ways to begin your journey toward financial freedom. I'm not just talking about a small payday here. If you play your cards right, this could be the start of a whole new chapter in your financial life. People are selling these rare coins and living comfortably, traveling the world, and building generational wealth. Why not you? But before you rush off to check every penny you own, let me show you exactly what to look for so you don't miss out on the next big find. How many of you have a jar of coins you've been meaning to sort through? Come on, be honest. If it's sitting there collecting dust, it might be time to get serious about what's inside. Don't just let that money sit there. It could be your golden ticket.so. Now that you know about the 1981 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny and its potential value, I'm going to leave you with this. You don't want to let the fear of missing out control your future. This is your chance to make a move and cash in on rare coins that could change your life. Take action today. Whether you're looking to sell that 1981 penny or start collecting rare coins, this could be the start of something big for you. Don't sit around waiting for opportunities to pass you by. Grab them while you still can. Remember, it's not just about collecting coins. It's about building wealth, securing your financial future, and living a life you've always dreamed of. So go ahead, check your coin jar. Maybe your next step toward a wealthy lifestyle is just 1 penny away. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more tips on how to turn rare coins into real money. Trust me, you won't want to miss the next video. You've got a small jar of pennies tucked away. Maybe it's been sitting in the attic for years, or you just found it at the back of your drawer. You think it's just another bunch of old coins, But what if I told you one of those pennies could be worth nearly $1 million? Yes, you heard that right, $970,000 for just one single coin. Now, don't jump to conclusions. Not every penny is going to make you a millionaire, but there's one particular 1968 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny that could be the ticket to a life you've only dreamed of. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot this hidden gem and cash in. It's 1968, an era full of change. The world was filled with political unrest, the civil rights movement was making waves, and a little penny that should have had a mint mark became one of the most sought-after collectibles in history. This seemingly ordinary penny, produced at the height of the American coinage system, holds a secret that only a few sharp-eyed collectors have been able to unearth. When this penny was first minted, nobody knew it was going to be special. In fact, most people were too busy with the chaos of the world to give much thought to the pennies in their pocket. But there's a rarity that happens every now and then, where an error, a simple mistake, creates something worth far more than it should be. And what's the secret? It's the absence of a mint mark. That's right, unlike most pennies, which have a small D or S to indicate where they were made, the 1968 no-mint mark penny doesn't have anything. It was struck in Philadelphia, but no one thought that missing mint mark would ever become such a big deal. That oversight means that coin is a rare error, and errors are the bread and butter of coin collecting. Now, how do you know you've got one? How can you tell if you're holding on to $1 million coin instead of just another penny from your pocket change? Let's dive into the specifics and figure out how to spot these elusive beauties. You might be wondering, why should I care about this specific penny? How can I even tell if I have one? Well, here's where it gets interesting. First off, let's talk about the condition of the coin. To be worth nearly $1 million, the penny needs to be in nearly perfect condition. No heavy wear and tear, no scratches, and certainly no damage from being tossed around in a jar for decades. But don't worry, even if your penny isn't mint condition, it could still fetch a pretty penny, pun intended. Now, the next step is understanding the rarity. While 1968 pennies were mass-produced, the no-mint mark version stands out because it was such an unusual mistake. Philadelphia was the main minting location for this year's pennies, but because of the oversight, they missed the mark, literally. Only a small percentage of 1968 pennies were struck without a mint mark, and that's what makes this coin so rare. To really understand the value, you need to keep in mind how these coins are graded. The higher the grade, the higher the value. If your penny is graded as MS67 or better, you're looking at something close to the $500,000 range, maybe more. And if it's in perfect condition? Well, let's just say you could be sitting on an absolute gold mine. How in the world did these things slip through the cracks and get into circulation? Well, sometimes life works in mysterious ways. Imagine the chaos of a busy mint, workers rushing, machines humming. Who's going to catch a missing mint mark in all that noise? Okay, so you're excited and maybe even a little nervous now. You're digging through your old pennies, heart racing, hoping for the best. But here's the truth, finding one of these pennies is just the beginning. The real challenge comes next. Now that you've found your 1968 no-mint mark penny, you might be wondering, how much is it really worth? It all comes down to the market. Right now, depending on the condition, these coins are valued at approximately $970,000. That's not a typo, nearly $1 million for a single penny. And don't think this is some far-off pipe dream. These coins have been sold for astronomical prices, and more are being discovered every year. You can't just walk into a coin shop and expect to cash out that much money right away. There's a process to getting top dollar for your coin. First, you'll need to have it professionally graded by an expert to determine its condition. This is crucial because without that official grade, the value can drop significantly. The market for rare coins fluctuates. If you wait too long to sell, the value might drop. Or, worse, someone else might beat you to it and scoop up the deal before you even know what happened. Before you go racing off to sell that penny, let's talk about the mistakes people make when selling valuable coins. What if I told you that most people are leaving money on the table because they don't know the right channels to sell through? Would you want to know how to avoid those common pitfalls and make sure you get the absolute maximum value for your coin? We've covered a lot of ground today. The 1968 no-mint mark penny isn't just any penny, it's an investment in your future. It's a potential ticket to living the life you've always wanted, a life filled with comfort, luxury, and the freedom to enjoy the things that truly matter. If you think you might have a 1968 no-mint mark penny, don't waste any more time. Get it graded. Start researching reputable dealers. The clock is ticking and every moment counts. You might be just one step away from turning that dusty old penny into a fortune. Remember, this is your chance. This could be the opportunity that changes everything. But you've got to act now. Are you ready to take that step toward wealth? Stay tuned for the next video, where we'll dive deeper into how to get the best price for your rare coins. You won't want to miss it. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, like the video, and share it with a friend who might be sitting on a fortune of their own. Trust me, you won't want to miss the next big revelation. Are you sitting on a gold mine and don't even know it? You could be holding a coin worth hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of dollars, and if you're not careful, you might be missing out on the opportunity of a lifetime. Today, I'm going to talk about the USA 1978 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny coin, a rare find that could completely change your life. Before you dismiss this as just another coin, let me tell you. This penny is worth up to $780,000 in the current market, and the value is only increasing. Stick around as I walk you through everything you need to know: how to spot this rare gem, how it ended up being so valuable, and why you could be sitting on an untapped fortune. And hey, if you're thinking, this sounds too good to be true, don't worry. I've got proof. Keep watching to find out if your change jar is secretly holding a small fortune. Act 1. The setup. Imagine walking into your local coin shop with just a handful of pennies in your pocket, and by the time you leave, you've sold one for enough money to pay off your mortgage, fund that dream vacation, or buy that sports car you've been eyeing for years. Sounds impossible? Well, it's not. If you know what to look for, let's take a step back and set the stage. In 1978, the U.S. Mint produced millions of pennies, but only a small handful of them ended up with a unique flaw, a mint mark that could make you rich. The 1978 D. Abraham Lincoln penny, in particular, became one of the most valuable coins in the numismatic world. But here's the kicker: not all 1978 D pennies are worth a fortune. The difference lies in the coin's condition and its rarity. As you can imagine, finding a mint condition 1978 D penny isn't easy. These are hard to come by, and that's why so many people overlook them. Maybe you've got a jar full of pennies at home, or you've inherited an old collection that's been gathering dust in your attic. What if one of them is a 1978 D, and you're just a few steps away from discovering your hidden treasure? You don't want to make the mistake of thinking that all pennies are created equal. They're not. The value of this particular coin can skyrocket if it's in pristine condition, and that could mean serious cash for you. Imagine if you discovered one of these and it was sitting in your drawer all along. Talk about a lucky find. Act 2. The conflict. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. How do I know if my 1978 D penny is one of the rare ones? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Well, you're not alone. Most people don't even realize the value of their old coins until it's too late. In fact, many of these coins were spent in circulation, unnoticed and unappreciated. But here's where you come in. The key to determining whether your penny could be worth big money lies in its condition. A 1978 D penny in mint condition is a thing of beauty, sharp details, no signs of wear, and it's free of any scratches or discoloration. This is what collectors and investors are looking for. The rarer the coin, the higher the price. Now, let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, a man in Texas found a 1978 D penny in a jar of loose change he'd inherited from his grandfather. He thought it was just another penny, but something told him to take a closer look. Turns out, it was in almost perfect condition, and he ended up selling it for $780,000. Can you imagine that? A single penny, turning his life upside down, changing his financial future forever. But the reality is, not everyone knows how to spot these valuable coins. Most people won't recognize the subtle details that make a 1978 D penny special. The mint mark, the flawless appearance, the right amount of wear, it's all part of the equation. And if you're not familiar with these details, you might end up passing on a fortune. Here's the urgency you need to understand. Coins like these don't stay hidden forever. The market for rare coins is growing and prices are climbing. If you've got one of these pennies sitting in your collection, now is the time to act. The longer you wait, the greater the risk of missing out on a life-changing sale. So, how do you make sure you don't miss your chance? First, you've got to take a close look at every penny you own. Get a magnifying glass, inspect each coin for the mint mark, and check its condition. If it's in good shape, it might be worth more than you think. Once you've identified a potential gem, it's time to get it professionally graded. A coin's grade is crucial in determining its value, and a certified coin can fetch a much higher price than one that's ungraded. Professional graders will assess the coin's condition and assign it a grade, which will directly impact its market value. Now, let's get real for a second. If you're sitting on a rare 1978 D penny, don't wait to act. This isn't the type of opportunity you want to let slip through your fingers. Imagine the life-changing possibilities. What would you do with that extra $780,000? Maybe you're dreaming of paying off debts, investing in your future, or buying your dream home. Whatever your vision, this penny could be your ticket to making it happen. This all sounds like a fairy tale. But trust me, it's not. People just like you are finding rare pennies every day and turning them into serious wealth. This could be your chance. Don't wait. Check your pennies. Take the next step. You never know. It could be the best decision you ever make. Before I go, let me ask you this. What's the most valuable coin you've found in your collection so far? Drop a comment below, and let's keep this conversation going. You never know. Someone in the comments might have a 1978 D penny that's worth a fortune, and they're just waiting to cash in. You ever look at your change and think, could any of this be worth something? Maybe it's just a couple of pennies lying in your drawer or a handful tossed into a jar. But what if I told you one of those pennies could make you a small fortune? I'm talking about a 2006 D. Abraham Lincoln penny that could potentially be worth a staggering $665,000. Yes, you heard that right, $665,000. How can a humble penny be worth so much? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes this coin a goldmine hiding right in your pocket. Don't go anywhere. This is the coin secret you've been waiting for. All right, let's set the stage. We all know pennies, right? They're practically worthless. At least that's what we've been told for decades. Most people barely even bother to pick them up off the street. And I can't blame them. After all, it's just a cent. But what if the penny you've been overlooking is far from ordinary? Enter the 2006 D. Abraham Lincoln penny. A coin you've probably passed by 1,000 times without a second glance. It's not exactly rare in the traditional sense. You'll find millions of these minted every year. But here's where it gets interesting. Some of these 2006 D pennies have a specific feature that could make them incredibly valuable. And I'm not talking about the usual wear and tear. No, I'm talking about something so rare, it's sending collectors into a frenzy. You might be wondering, what makes this penny different from all the others? Well, it's all about one tiny, almost invisible detail that could make it worth nearly $1 million. But before we dive deeper into that, let me ask you something. How many times have you opened a drawer full of old coins and thought, could one of these be worth a fortune? You'd be amazed at how many people don't even realize the wealth they have right under their noses. And this penny? It's one of those pieces. Now let's get to the heart of the matter. The key to the 2006 D penny's value lies in something called the variety of the coin. You see, not all 2006 D pennies are created equal. Most of them are worth only a few cents because, let's face it, they were mass-produced. But there's a rare variation of the 2006 D penny that can fetch up to $665,000. This rare penny has a subtle error, a flaw in its minting process, which makes it stand out from the rest. If you have one of these error pennies, you could be sitting on a small fortune. But here's the catch. These error pennies are incredibly hard to find, and even harder to identify. Many collectors have spent years trying to track down one of these elusive coins. And for good reason. But how can you tell if your 2006 D penny is worth a small fortune? Well, that's where it gets tricky. The error that makes this penny so valuable is almost imperceptible to the untrained eye. It's a very specific flaw in the die used to mint the coins, and it creates a unique mark on the surface. Trust me, it's not something you're going to spot during a casual glance. But here's the exciting part. It's not as rare as you think. There are still some out there, waiting to be discovered. So, what does this mean for you? If you have a 2006 D penny lying around, it could be your ticket to a wealthy lifestyle. Imagine that, a simple penny turning into hundreds of thousands of dollars. Could you be the lucky one to strike gold? But here's the cliffhanger. Not all 2006 D pennies are created equal. Some are worth nothing more than face value. So how do you know if you have the right one? Well, stick with me because I'll show you exactly how to identify the rare coins that could make you a millionaire. So, let's say you found a 2006 D penny that you think could be worth a lot. What's next? Well, it's time to take action. First, don't just assume your coin is valuable because it looks different. You need to get it verified by a professional. A certified coin expert can determine if your penny is indeed one of the rare error varieties. Now, here's where things get serious. Once you've confirmed that you have the right penny, you're in a position to either sell it or keep it in your collection. But time is of the essence. The longer you wait, the more the market could shift. So, if you're serious about cashing in, the clock is ticking. If you've never sold a coin before, you might be wondering where to start. The good news is that there are reputable dealers who specialize in rare coins and can offer you a fair price. However, selling through an auction house could net you an even higher price. Auctions often bring in the highest bids from collectors eager to get their hands on rare coins like yours. But here's a question for you. How many of us have coins stashed away in drawers that could potentially be worth a fortune? So many people miss out on these opportunities, and that's what I want you to avoid. Don't let that penny collect dust when it could be funding your dreams. If you do get your hands on a 2006 D penny worth $665,000, what's next? Well, this is where the exciting part comes in. With that kind of money, you could pay off debts, travel the world, invest in your future, or even live a life you've always dreamed of. It's not just about the money, it's about the freedom that comes with it. What's the takeaway here? The next time you grab your spare change, don't just toss those pennies aside. One could be worth a life-changing amount. The 2006 D. Abraham Lincoln penny might just be hiding in your pocket, waiting for you to discover its true worth. Time is critical, and the market is always changing. If you want to turn a simple penny into a small fortune, now is the time to act. Keep an eye out, get your coins verified, and don't miss the chance to make your dreams a reality. Have you ever thought that a single penny could change your life forever? You're probably thinking, yeah, right? It's just a penny. But what if I told you that there's a rare coin out there, worth up to $885,000? Sounds unbelievable, right? Yet, it's true. And chances are, you've got one of these hidden away in your change jar. Let's talk about the 2000 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that could make you richer than you ever imagined. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot this little gold mine and how to sell it for a fortune. Now, let's dive into a bit of coin history. You're probably wondering, why is this 2000 penny so valuable? It all starts with a little thing called a mint mark, or rather, the lack of it. In 2000, some pennies were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and, oddly enough, they didn't have a mint mark. Why is that a big deal? Well, typically, coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint have no mint mark, while those from other mints, like Denver or San Francisco, do. But here's where things get interesting. Only a small number of these 2000 pennies are missing the mint mark. In fact, this specific coin, the 2000 no mint mark penny, is highly sought after because of its rarity. You might not think twice about it when you spot it in your coin jar, but let me tell you, what you're looking at is potentially worth more than some people's entire retirement savings. Imagine looking at a coin and realizing it could pay off your mortgage, your kids' college tuition, or even take you on that luxury vacation you've been dreaming of. Here's a question for you. How many times have you looked at a coin and thought, it's just a penny? Be honest. It's okay, we've all been there. But after this, that'll change. Because this penny isn't just a penny. It's a ticket to a whole new lifestyle. Why does this little penny have such a mind-blowing value? It all comes down to scarcity and demand. Coins with no mint marks are a rare occurrence, and coin collectors love a good mystery. The 2000 no mint mark penny is considered an anomaly, something that shouldn't exist, but does. And this rarity makes it incredibly valuable. In fact, in 2018, one of these pennies sold for nearly $885,000. Yes, you heard that right. That's almost $1 million for a coin worth just 1 cent on the surface. Let's break it down. The US Mint didn't intend for these coins to be released without a mint mark. But somehow, somewhere, these pennies didn't make it into general circulation like the others, and over time, their rarity has increased dramatically. Coin collectors, especially those focusing on US errors and anomalies, are on the hunt for these little treasures. Now, you might be thinking, I don't have one of those coins. How do I know if mine's valuable? Well, let me show you how to spot it. Take a look at the year, check for the absence of a mint mark, and examine the condition. A coin in mint condition will fetch a much higher price, but even those with some wear could be worth a pretty penny, pun intended. But how do you really know if your coin is the one that'll change your life? And what's the next step once you find it? Well, you're about to find out, but not yet. Hold that thought for just a second, because first, we need to take a look at how to authenticate this coin. After all, you don't want to get your hopes up and find out your coin is just a regular penny. Now, let's get down to business. First, you'll need to authenticate your 2000 no mint mark penny. It's essential to know for sure that it's real. The best way to do this is by having it professionally graded by an expert, someone who can certify its authenticity and condition. If it turns out that your penny is in fact a genuine 2000 no mint mark, you can expect to get it graded by companies like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. These companies will give your coin a grade based on its condition, and that grade will heavily impact its market value. Once your coin is graded, you'll want to get it appraised. But this is where things get tricky, because there's a lot of competition. The market for rare coins is fiercely competitive, and once your penny is out there, it might get snatched up quickly. That's why you've got to act fast. Don't wait too long to list it because, as with any valuable item, its worth could drop if the market gets flooded. The key is finding the right buyer, someone who appreciates the rarity of the 2000 no mint mark penny. Now, let's pause for a second. Are you feeling a little overwhelmed? Don't worry, this is the exciting part. You've just discovered that this tiny penny can make you a lot of money, and you've got the power to turn that into a whole new lifestyle. But here's the question. Would you let this opportunity slip through your fingers, or would you take action now? Let's say you decide to sell your 2000 no mint mark penny. How do you do it? What's the best way to make sure you get top dollar for your rare coin? I'll give you that info, but you'll have to wait until the next segment, because what I'm about to reveal could change everything for you. Let's wrap this up with a quick summary. The 2000 no mint mark penny is no ordinary coin. It's an incredibly rare and valuable treasure that could be worth up to $885,000. By identifying, authenticating, and selling it, you're opening the door to financial freedom. But remember, the world of rare coins is competitive, and opportunities like this don't come around often. If you're serious about taking action, you've got to move fast, get your coin authenticated, and know the best places to sell it. And hey, if you're feeling a little overwhelmed or unsure about the next step, don't worry. I've got you covered. Stay tuned for the next video where I'll show you exactly how to sell your rare coin for top dollar. The camera pans over a close-up of a 1985 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny resting on a table, glinting under soft lighting. You have an old penny in your collection, right? Maybe it's been sitting in a drawer for years. It's just another copper coin. Nothing special, except, what if I told you that penny could be worth up to $788,000? That's right, folks. You heard me correctly. This isn't a prank or some fantasy story. The 1985 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is one of the most valuable, under-the-radar treasures out there, and it's not something you want to overlook. Today, I'm about to take you through the incredible story of how one seemingly insignificant coin has the potential to change your life forever. Stick with me until the end because you won't believe what you might be sitting on, hidden right in your pocket change. But first, let's talk about how this penny can make you rich and fast. Scene transition. Show a collection of different pennies laid out on a table. Focus on the 1985 penny in the middle. Now, you might be thinking, why is this penny so valuable? It's just another coin from the 1980s, right? Well, here's where things get interesting. The 1985 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny was struck during a period when the U.S. Mint was facing a shortage of certain coin dies. As a result, the pennies produced in the year without a mint mark are incredibly rare. But, like most rare coins, they weren't necessarily noticed right away. For years, collectors didn't even realize the true value of this coin. It wasn't until recently that experts began noticing the rarity of the 1985 no mint mark penny. With only a few surviving examples, it's quickly become one of the most sought-after pennies on the market today, fetching prices that can reach $788,000. Yes, you heard that right. Pause for a moment. As if considering the possibilities, now imagine, just for a second, that the penny you've been casually holding onto for years could be worth more than your car, more than some people's homes. I can feel the excitement building, can't you? I mean, who knew that one small, copper circle could be the key to your next yacht, right? But here's the kicker. The longer you wait, the more you risk losing out on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The coin market is a wild beast, and when a hidden treasure like this is discovered, prices shoot up. Buyers are eager, collectors are desperate, and demand is growing faster than you can say auction house. If you've been holding on to your collection, waiting for the right time to sell, that time could be now. But remember, the longer you wait, the more you risk someone else snagging that coin and leaving you with nothing but regret. Could you really afford to miss out on $788,000? Here's where fear comes into play. Fear of losing out on the wealth that could be right in front of you. Fear of letting your coin go unnoticed, slipping through your fingers like sand. Don't let that happen. The camera cuts to a close-up of the coin once again, glinting in the light. Soft background music builds. So, you're probably wondering, how do I even know if I have this elusive 1985 no mint mark penny? Great question. Stick around, because I'm going to give you the step-by-step guide on how to verify the authenticity and value of your penny. And trust me, you won't want to miss this next part. But before I reveal the exact process, let's take a step back and think about the big picture. We're talking about a coin that has the potential to change your financial future. A coin that could open the doors to a lifestyle you've always dreamed about: vacations, investments, a new home, maybe even that dream car. And it all starts with the penny in your pocket. But wait, I'm not going to leave you hanging. The truth is, there are a few things that can make this penny even more valuable than you think. And once I share these tips with you, you're going to be shocked. So, are you ready to discover how much your 1985 no mint mark penny could be worth? Cut to a final shot of someone carefully examining their penny with a magnifying glass. All right, folks, here's the bottom line. If you have this rare coin sitting in your collection, you're holding on to more than just a piece of history. You're holding on to your ticket to financial freedom. Don't wait another day to find out if you struck gold. The time to act is now, before the market changes or someone else beats you to the punch. If you're serious about getting your hands on that life-changing money, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out on another valuable coin discovery. Let's unlock the full potential of your coin collection together. While most people are just scrolling through their phones, you could be making a move that could change your life forever. Don't let the opportunity slip through your fingers. The $1 million coin could be closer than you think. Hey there, coin lovers. If you're sitting on an old jar of pennies, you might just be holding a ticket to an unimaginable windfall. Picture this: a single penny, a 1965 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, worth nearly $900,000. Yes, you heard that right. This small, humble coin could be worth a fortune. But don't jump to conclusions just yet. There's more to this story than meets the eye. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this penny could change your life. But first, let me ask you something. How many times have you walked past a coin jar or tossed a few pennies into the recycling bin? Now imagine, just for a second, that those pennies are sitting on a secret treasure trove. Are you ready to dig in and see if you've got a future millionaire-making coin in your pocket? It all starts back in 1965, a year that doesn't just hold significance for its historical events. It's the year that one of the most valuable pennies in U.S. history was accidentally born. The United States Mint, typically a well-oiled machine, made a rare mistake. For a brief period that year, a batch of pennies was struck without the mint mark, the small letter that typically identifies which mint facility produced the coin at a first glance. These pennies look like any other Lincoln cent. However, unlike the other pennies from the same year, the ones missing the mint mark are a true anomaly, a manufacturing glitch. That glitch, however, is what makes these pennies so incredibly valuable today. And now, nearly 6 decades later, collectors and investors are hunting them down, willing to pay nearly $900,000 for just one of these elusive coins. What's crazy is that these coins aren't incredibly rare in terms of how many were produced. It's the fact that no one knew what they were at the time, and for years, they were just seen as another penny. Can you imagine? All those years, people walking around with nearly $1 million sitting in their coin jars, completely unaware. Now, before you start thinking you're going to become a millionaire overnight, let's pump the brakes for a second. Not every 1965 penny is worth this kind of money. In fact, most of them aren't worth more than a few cents. But stick with me, because I'm going to show you exactly how you can tell if you have the right one. Alright. So how do you tell if your 1965 penny could be worth nearly $900,000? Here's the thing. It's all about that mint mark, or the lack of it. Most pennies from 1965 feature the D mint mark for Denver or an S for San Francisco. The ones that lack the mint mark, however, are what you need to keep an eye on. Now, you might be thinking, but how do I even know if my penny is from 1965? Excellent question. Here's the kicker. You'll need to inspect your pennies carefully. I'm talking about looking under a magnifying glass or even using a jeweler's loupe. Examine the date closely. If it says 1965 and has no mint mark, you may just be holding a rare gem in your hand. And here's the catch. Most of these pennies were circulated. So even if you find one, it likely won't be in perfect condition. The ones that fetch the big bucks are typically graded in higher condition. But don't be discouraged. Even a penny in less than perfect condition can still have significant value. Now, I'm sure you're thinking, if this penny is so valuable, why haven't I heard about it before? Here's why. It's a niche collector's market. Only certain collectors and numismatists, coin experts, know what they're looking for, and they're willing to pay top dollar for these specific coins. But now that you know about it, you're ahead of the game. So, let's pause here for a moment. How many of you right now are rummaging through your drawers, looking through old coin collections, wondering if you might just be sitting on a hidden fortune? Yeah, I know you're all scrambling to grab your old pennies. Hang tight, we're not done yet. Here's where things get serious. So, let's say you find one of these 1965 no mint mark pennies. You've inspected it, and it looks like it could be the real deal. Now what? How do you cash in on this hidden treasure? First, you'll want to have the coin professionally graded. This is where the real value lies. Depending on the grade, the price could vary dramatically. A penny in mint condition, like those stored away carefully for decades, could fetch a whopping price. But even one in good condition, not perfect, can bring in a substantial sum. Now, here's the kicker: timing. The market for rare coins fluctuates, so the longer you wait, the more you risk missing out on peak prices. Right now, the market for the 1965 no mint mark penny is strong. Coin buyers are actively looking for these, which is why it's so important to act fast if you find one. You go to a coin dealer, and after getting the penny graded, you find out that it's worth $879,000. You can either sell it or hold on to it and wait for its value to climb even higher in the future. Either way, you've just turned a small, seemingly insignificant coin into a massive payout. This story isn't over. The market for rare coins is growing, and there are always new opportunities out there. As more collectors get into the game, the value of rare pennies, like the 1965 no mint mark, could skyrocket. What if the next rare penny you find isn't just worth $879,000? What if it's worth even more? And what if there are other pennies out there, right now, just waiting to be discovered? In our next video, I'll reveal even more rare pennies you should be keeping an eye out for. And trust me, you won't want to miss it. Oh, you have a $900,000 penny sitting in your coin jar right now? The next time you see a 1965 penny, don't just toss it aside. Give it a closer look. You never know. You might be holding the key to a life-changing fortune. And remember, the world of rare coins is out there, waiting for you to take action. Will you let this opportunity slip through your fingers, or will you dive in and claim your treasure? Have you ever handed someone a penny and wondered, what if that tiny coin was worth $1 million? It sounds crazy, right? But let me tell you something that'll change the way you look at your change forever. There's a 2016 Lincoln penny out there. Yes, the humble 1-cent coin that has been appraised at a jaw-dropping $1 million in today's market. That penny might be sitting in your kitchen drawer, hiding under couch cushions, or tucked away in that old jar of change you haven't touched in years. Before you think, come on, it's just a penny, let me ask you something. What if the just a penny is the one thing standing between you and a completely different life? A new home, a debt-free future, a chance to finally breathe. Stick with me for the next few minutes. I'll show you how to tell if you've got the real deal and how to sell it for life-changing money. This isn't just a coin, it's a key to financial freedom. But first, why is a 2016 penny worth more than your car? In 2016, the Denver Mint produced millions of pennies featuring Abraham Lincoln's familiar profile. But among these ordinary coins, a microscopic number were struck with unusual errors, rare metals, and minting anomalies that collectors go wild for. We're talking off-center strikes, double dies, misplaced mint marks, and coins struck on planchets meant for foreign currency. Let me break that down. Imagine a coin pressed slightly off target. Lincoln's head looks like it's trying to escape the coin. Or a coin where the date is clearly doubled, giving the appearance of a blurry time warp. These are not flaws, they are money magnets. Only a few of these 2016 penny errors were ever discovered. The rest? They're still out there, waiting. Let me tell you about Mike from Kansas. Guy walks into a local coin shop with a handful of coins he almost gave away. One of them? A 2016 penny with a misaligned die error. Fast forward, it sold at auction for over $865,000. He almost bought a soda with it. Let's talk emotions for a second. Regret is heavier than any coin. The thought of tossing away a fortune because you didn't know what to look for? That kind of mistake haunts people. Let's dive into the traits that can make your penny worth up to $1 million. 1. Check for doubling on the date and lettering. Look closely at 2016, Liberty, and In God We Trust. If it looks like a shadow is lurking behind the letters, jackpot. The D under the date should be crisp. If it looks distorted, misplaced, or has doubling, you're in business. Any strange lines, cracks, or off-center printing on the Lincoln Memorial, these are not damage. They're value indicators. Some of these were struck on bronze planchets by mistake, coins that should have been retired back in the early 1980s. If it's a deep reddish-brown instead of a shiny copper-plated zinc, that's another big clue. Now I know what you're thinking. How in the world do I verify all this? Because knowing what to look for is just step one. You've got that penny in your hand. Your heart's racing. What next? Don't clean the coin. I repeat, never clean it. A little soap and water could cost you thousands. Next, you'll want to get it appraised by a reputable coin grading service. PCGS or NGC are your go-tos. These companies will confirm if your penny is authentic, rare, and worthy of that $1 million price tag. Private collectors, public auctions, online marketplaces. If your coin is graded and verified, there are folks lining up ready to pay serious money. Now let's trigger that excitement again. Imagine listing your coin and watching the bids climb. 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, $500,000, higher. The hammer drops. You've just sold a penny for more money than most people make in a decade. Pay off your mortgage? Buy that dream truck? Take your spouse on that trip you've been putting off for years. Found. Collections are getting picked through. Every day you wait, another lucky person cashes and don't let your story end with, I could have had one. Because now you know what to look for. You know what it could be worth. And you know exactly what steps to take. So after this video, do yourself a favor. Grab a magnifying glass, crack open those old coin jars, and look for that 2016 D penny. If you enjoyed this video and want more insights on rare coins hiding in plain sight, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. The next $1 million penny might just be in our next video. What if I told you that a single penny, the kind you might find lost between couch cushions or tossed into a jar in your garage, could be worth nearly $1 million? No, this isn't a fantasy. It's not a joke. And it's definitely not just another coin video telling you to dig through your change for fun. This could actually change your life. Today, we're diving into the 1995 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, a coin that's shocking collectors and dealers across the country, with its current market value hitting $780,000. And with the right conditions, some have seen offers close to $1 million. 1 cent for $1 million. Have you already thrown away your fortune? Let's make sure you never do that again. In 1995, the United States Mint was churning out billions of pennies. To most folks, these coins were nothing more than pocket change. But what slipped through the cracks, quite literally, were a handful of extraordinary errors and unique traits that made some 1995 pennies incredibly valuable. Here's where things get interesting. These rare 1995 pennies do not have a mint mark, which means they were struck in Philadelphia. But unlike many Philadelphia coins, these lack the identifying letter, but that's just the surface. What really makes these pennies soar in value are the striking errors, doubled dies, and pristine conditions. You're holding a penny that looks like every other one, except it's been doubled at the date and lettering and graded a near-perfect MS, 67 or higher. That's the golden ticket. That's the coin that turned 1 cent into $780,000. And maybe even more. And hey, if you're thinking, well, I've got a penny jar the size of a paint bucket. What are the odds? Don't worry. You've just turned yourself into a treasure hunter. Indiana Jones would be jealous. Now, let's dig deeper. What traits should you actually be looking for? Look at the word liberty and the phrase, "In God We Trust." On the valuable 1995 double die penny, you'll see slight but very real doubling on the letters. Use a magnifying glass or even a good phone camera zoom. The difference is subtle but critical. Next, condition. If your coin looks like it's been through a washing machine in a thunderstorm, it probably won't cut it. But if you've got a coin that's crisp, clean, uncirculated, you're in business. Collectors pay top dollar for coins graded by services like PCGS or NGC. An MS 67 or MS 68 grade. That's where the numbers shoot sky high. But how many of these rare pennies are actually still out there, hiding in plain sight? You might be closer to $1 million than you think. These rare 1995 no-mint mark pennies have shocked the coin world. One recent auction had a bidder practically elbowing his way to a $780,000 final bid. That's a penny you could have tossed into a tip jar at a diner. The fear of missing out. The fear of letting something life-changing slip through your fingers. People are waking up every day to stories of coins they once had, or worse, coins they unknowingly spent, now being worth more than their homes. That's right. You could have paid for a cheeseburger with a penny that could have bought you a lake house. Let that one marinate for a minute. Now let's shift to excitement. Picture this. You find one of these coins. You get it graded. It comes back MS 67. Your hands are shaking. You list it at auction. Bidding skyrockets. Suddenly, you're no longer wondering how to pay bills. You're looking at real freedom, financial freedom. The kind that gives you control. The kind that helps you live the lifestyle you've dreamed of, not just survived in. These coins aren't just historical artifacts. They're still out there. They're in old coffee cans, inherited collections, forgotten drawers. Will you be the one to find the next $1 million penny? You don't need a metal detector or a museum to make this discovery. All you need is a moment to check your pennies, a moment to educate yourself, a moment that could change your life. So before you throw another coin into a vending machine, take a second. If you want to join thousands of others who are learning how to spot valuable coins, sell them for top dollar, and build wealth from what most people overlook, subscribe now, hit the bell icon, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it, because the next great coin find could be in your hand right now. Did you know that a single penny could change your entire life? I'm not talking about some fantasy or lottery ticket dream. I'm talking about a real, physical 1-cent coin that could be hiding in your junk drawer right now, and it could be worth up to $777,000. Yes, you heard that right. One worn-down, overlooked 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny could be the key to unlocking the wealth you've been chasing your whole life. You don't need to mine for gold or invest in crypto. You just need to check your change. Now, before you roll your eyes and toss that penny aside, let me ask you this. What if this was your one shot? What if missing this opportunity means you keep living paycheck to paycheck while someone else cashes in on the same coin you once owned? This isn't just about coins. This is about freedom, opportunity, and the wealth that's been sitting in plain sight for decades. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, you're going to learn how to identify a 1978 penny that could be worth nearly $1 million. Why collectors are willing to pay that price, and exactly what you should do if you find one. But first, let me take you back to a story that might sound a little too familiar. A few years ago, a man in Ohio was cleaning out his late grandfather's old fishing tackle box. Hidden under rusty hooks and tangled lines, he found a handful of pennies. Most were ordinary, except one. It was a 1978 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. It looked like any other, but something about the color and the weight felt different. Long story short, that one coin sold for over $700,000 at auction. He used that money to pay off his house, buy his dream truck, and finally take his wife on that cross-country trip they've been talking about for 20 years. How many tackle boxes, coffee cans, and junk drawers have you skipped over? Let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny? Be honest. Most of us wouldn't bend down to pick one up unless it was glued to a dollar bill. But after today, you'll never look at one the same again. First, let's talk about the no mint mark detail. That simply means it was made in Philadelphia, and while that's not rare on its own, certain 1978 pennies from Philly were struck using defective dies or on foreign planchets, mistakes that created an extremely limited number of error coins. These are the jackpot coins. The most valuable ones have off-center strikes, doubled dies, or were struck on a copper planchet instead of zinc. Some even have a ghost-like doubling in Lincoln's eye or lettering, subtle flaws that expert collectors drool over. The transitional error 1978 penny, where copper and zinc blends were accidentally swapped during minting. One of these coins in mint condition was recently appraised $4,777,000. Someone hands you a penny. It's a little dirty, a little scratched. You toss it in your pocket. Then later, you find out it could have made you a millionaire. That's fear. That's regret. And that's exactly what we're trying to avoid today. This isn't just about numismatics. This is about what your life could look like if you find one of these coins. Imagine the bills that no longer haunt your kitchen table. The family vacations that don't require saving for 5 years. The freedom to retire early and actually enjoy the years you worked so hard for. But here's the catch. These coins are rare. And the people who find them? They're the ones who know what to look for. They're the ones who don't wait. Coming up, I'll reveal the exact characteristics that could make your 1978 penny a six-figure powerhouse and how to verify its authenticity without getting scammed. A rare 1978 copper penny will weigh about 3.11 grams. Zinc pennies from later years weigh only 2.5 grams. Look closely at the Liberty, lettering, and the date. If you see doubling or ghosting, that's a red flag in a very good way. If Lincoln's head is oddly placed, that can increase value. Incomplete or unusual rims can mean a misstrike. If your penny checks one or more of these boxes, it's time to call an appraiser. Now don't go selling it to the guy down the street offering you $50 and a handshake. You wouldn't sell a diamond at a yard sale, would you? The biggest mistake people make? Waiting too long, market shift. Demand fluctuates. That same penny worth $777,000 today could drop in value tomorrow if a bunch of new ones hit the market. This is your window. If you have old coin jars, drawers full of change, or a family member who used to collect coins, go look today. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today. Most people go through life waiting for a break, hoping that someday something big will happen. But the truth is, sometimes that big thing is already in your house. You just haven't seen it yet. Now, before you rush off to dig through your change, let me ask you something important. What if I told you there's another Lincoln penny that's even rarer, and it's hiding in plain sight in millions of homes across the country? That's what we're talking about in the next video. And trust me, you do not want to miss that. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and start looking. Your future might just be one penny away. No, really. Did you just toss it into a jar? Or worse, leave it on the counter at the gas station? Well, what if I told you one tiny, copper-colored coin from 2016, with no mint mark, could be worth up to $767,000? Yeah, you heard that right. A penny. Worth more than most people's house. Now, before you run to your junk drawer, let me tell you a quick story. Because this isn't just about a coin. It's about opportunity. It's about wealth hiding in plain sight. And it's about you finally realizing that maybe, just maybe, your path to financial freedom has been sitting under your car seat this whole time. Stick with me. Because by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what to look for and why this 1-cent coin could completely change your life. It was a regular morning when a retired truck driver in Pennsylvania stopped at a local flea market. He didn't go looking for treasure. He was just grabbing coffee and flipping through some old baseball cards. But then he saw it. That same afternoon, after years of being told by his brother-in-law that he should get into coins, he pulled out a loupe, squinted at one of those pennies, and froze a 2016 Lincoln penny. No mint mark, with a rare die clash error and flawless surfaces. A grader later confirmed it was nearly perfect, MS-69. It sold at a private auction for over $700,000. And before you roll your eyes, thinking this is just another needle in a haystack kind of thing, let me explain something. Coins like this are out there, right now, in circulation, and they don't ask for permission before changing someone's life. Now wait, before you go dumping your entire penny jar on the kitchen table, hang on a sec. Because I've seen what some folks do. They grab a magnifying glass, stare at the wrong part of the coin for 5 hours, and then email me asking if their 2002 Canadian penny is worth $1 million. The 2016 Lincoln penny with no mint mark was minted in Philadelphia. That's important, because in 2016, the Philadelphia Mint didn't use a P mint mark on pennies. So the absence of a mint mark isn't rare by itself. But here's the kicker. That's when parts of the coin show ghost-like images of designs from the opposite side. If you see Lincoln's head bleeding into the memorial or vice versa, you might be onto something. Letters and numbers that appear slightly doubled. You'd be shocked how many people overlook this because they think it's just bad printing. But in the coin world, it's a gold mine. Now this is crucial. The coin's worth hundreds of thousands. They're in pristine, uncirculated condition. Not something that's been living in a coin jar for 10 years with gum wrappers and pocket lint. Graded examples, especially in MS-68 or MS-69, are extremely rare. And the higher the grade, the higher the payout. Some of these 2016 pennies with no mint mark have actually sold for tens of thousands. And private collectors are still looking for the perfect specimen that could crack the $1 million barrier. If there's one known variant of this coin that has not yet been officially graded, and rumors suggest it could be the holy grail of 2016 cents. And I'll tell you exactly what to look for right after this next part. The reason rare coins skyrocket in value isn't just because of errors or age. It's about supply and demand, combined with perceived scarcity. There were billions of pennies minted in 2016, but only a few with perfect surfaces, rare strike anomalies, or grading above MS68. Collectors aren't just buying metal. They're buying history, mystery, and prestige. They want to own something no one else has, and they're willing to pay massive premiums to get it. Now think about that. While most people complain about inflation or hope their 401k doesn't vanish, others are quietly collecting wealth through coins. You don't need a degree in economics. You need curiosity and a flashlight. We spend hours scrolling through social media, but won't spend 5 minutes checking under our couch cushions. Your future might be tangled up with your dog's chew toy and a pack of Tic Tacs. Gather your 2016 pennies. Look for those with no mint mark, especially ones that look brand new. Use a 10x magnifier. Look for signs of doubling, die clashes, or abnormal surfaces. If you think you've got something, don't clean it. That can destroy the value. Put it in a coin flip holder and take it to a trusted numismatic expert. Consider sending it to PCGS or NGC for grading. It might cost a little up front, but if it comes back MS68 or higher, you're not just in the game. You might be holding a lottery ticket. These coins are being found and sold quietly every month. The longer you wait, the fewer are left in circulation. Timing is everything. There's one more error type tied to the 2016 no mint mark penny that hasn't even been fully documented yet. It's circulating in whispers among elite collectors. And in my next video, I'm going to show you exactly what it looks like and why it could be the first penny to break the $1 million mark in 2025. So if you're serious about turning pocket change into prosperity, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and start hunting. Because your next trip to the grocery store could lead to a six-figure payday if you just stop and check your change. Hey there, let me ask you something. Have you ever dropped a penny, looked at it, and thought, it's just 1 cent, right? Well, what if I told you that one of those forgotten pennies in your drawer right now could be worth over $867,000, and in rare cases, even up to $1 million? No, this isn't a joke. This is real. The 1971 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is turning ordinary folks into extraordinary success stories, and most people have no idea they're holding on to gold disguised as copper. And here's the kicker. The clock is ticking. The coin market is heating up fast, and once collectors snatch up these rarities, your chance to cash in could vanish. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to value your 1971 penny, and how to sell it the right way, so you don't leave a single dollar on the table. Let's rewind the clock to 1971. Nixon was president, gas was 40 cents a gallon, and pennies were still made mostly of copper, 95% copper, in fact. But here's where things get interesting. Most pennies that year were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which didn't put a mint mark on the coin. So when you look at a 1971 penny and you don't see a mint mark under the date, that's completely normal. Because what makes some of these no mint mark 1971 Lincoln cents wildly valuable are tiny details invisible to the untrained eye and deadly expensive to ignore. Point 1. Double die obverse errors. This is the holy grail of the 1971 no mint mark pennies. Look closely at the lettering, especially Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date. If the letters or numbers appear doubled, not blurred, but clearly struck twice, then you could be looking at a six-figure coin. And no, you don't need a microscope. A good magnifying glass or your phone's zoom might be all you need. But here's the urgency. These are being scooped up by collectors right now. No scratches, no dullness, full original luster. Then congratulations. Coins in MS67 red condition or higher can go for tens of thousands, and some have sold for over $867,000 in private auctions. That's more than some luxury cars. What's sitting in your coin jar could be your next down payment on a beach house. Point 3. Off-center strikes or misalignments. If the coin looks off, like Lincoln is sliding off the edge, or parts of the design are missing, don't toss it. These mint errors are extremely valuable, especially if the date is still readable. Combine that with the no mint mark status, and you're sitting on a collector's dream. Let me break the tension here for a moment. You know you've officially reached adulthood when you get excited over pennies and magnifying glasses. But when those pennies are worth more than your 401k? Suddenly, coin collecting isn't nerdy, it's wealthy, because knowing what you have is just half the story. Knowing how to sell it is where the money is made. And here's where I see people make critical, painful mistakes. And just like that, they walk away with $50 instead of $500,000. Attempt to sell your 1971 no-mint mark penny without a professional grading. Reputable services like PCGS or NGC can give your coin a certified grade that skyrockets its value and trustworthiness. Document and photograph it properly. Use high-res lighting. Capture both sides. Show close-ups of the details. The more clarity you give potential buyers, the more confident they are to pay top dollar. Choose the right platform. For serious sales, consider heritage auctions or trusted coin brokers. If you're testing the waters online, eBay is fine, but only with proper authentication and seller protection. You work too hard to get ripped off by some guy named CoinBro69. The market for these rare pennies is about to explode. Collectors are competing harder than ever. Prices are rising every quarter. Some financial analysts are even calling coins like the 1971 Lincoln Cent the Bitcoin of collectibles. And once these rare pieces vanish into private collections, they might not reappear for decades. If ever. So if you're sitting on one, now is not the time to hesitate. Now is the time to act. There's a secret variation of the 1971 Lincoln penny, one so rare, even experienced collectors barely know it exists. Only a handful have surfaced, and every time one does, the price goes through the roof. You could have that exact variation without even realizing it. Did you just walk past a penny on the ground again? What if I told you that single cent could be worth more than your car, your mortgage, and possibly your retirement plan? Stick around, because in the next few minutes, we're going to dive into one of the most underestimated treasures hiding in plain sight, the 1964 Lincoln penny. One recently sold for over $957,000. That's right, a coin you might have in your junk drawer could actually make you rich. Now, let me ask you something. When was the last time you checked your old coin jar? What if you've been sitting on a small fortune this whole time and had no idea? And just in case your attention was drifting. Yes, we're talking about a 1-cent penny that could pay for your dream home. This is not fantasy. This is real money. Real collectors. Real opportunity. This isn't just a history lesson. This is about unlocking wealth that's hiding right under your nose. And the clock is ticking. Because the longer you wait, the harder these rare coins are to find, and the more valuable they become. Let's step back for a moment and understand why this little coin has created such a storm in the numismatic world. 1964 was a year of transition. The nation was facing inflation, economic uncertainty, and a silver crisis. While that didn't affect the Lincoln Cent directly, it did shift the way coins were minted and valued. The Denver Mint struck over 3 billion Lincoln Cents that year, but not all pennies are created equal. A tiny percentage came out with striking anomalies, mint errors, double dies, off-center strikes, and in rare cases, even transitional planchets. Those oddities are what make this coin worth far more than face value. In fact, one specific 1964 Lincoln penny with rare characteristics was recently valued at $957,000. Now here's the exciting part. Serious coin collectors and investors are on the hunt for these rare errors. These aren't just hobbyists. We're talking about high net worth individuals looking for hard assets. And when a 1964 penny hits the market with the right combination of rarity and condition, bidding wars can break out, and prices can skyrocket. Scarcity. It's art. And in the world of collecting, that means money. By the way, have you ever seen grown men argue over a penny like it's the last piece of pizza at a party? Trust me, the energy at those coin auctions is no joke. Okay, so what exactly makes a 1964 Lincoln penny valuable? First, check for any signs of doubling, especially on Lincoln's face, the date, and the lettering. High-grade examples fetch the highest value. Clipped planchets, die cracks, off-center strikes, and finally, consider certification. A coin graded by a trusted service like PCGS or NGC with a high MS rating can massively boost its market value. Now I know what you're thinking. I'm not a coin expert. But that's the beauty of it. You don't need to be. You just need to be curious enough to check. Let me hit you with a hard truth. Every day that goes by without you checking your change is another chance slipping away. Coins like the 1964 Lincoln penny aren't just sitting around forever. Once they're discovered and collected, they're off the market, possibly forever. Imagine you find one of these and don't act on it. A few years down the road, you see a news story about a guy who sold the same coin for over $1 million. How would that feel? Because opportunity is knocking, softly, like a quiet penny landing in a jar. First, gather your coins and separate anything from 1964, especially those with the D mint mark under the date. Next, use a magnifying glass or a coin loop to spot obvious anomalies. Then, get it appraised by a professional, preferably at a coin show or by a reputable grading company. And finally, list it with an auction house or marketplace where collectors are actively buying. Not eBay, think higher end. We're talking places like Heritage Auctions or Stax Bowers. Now here's where the lifestyle dream kicks in. You cash in a penny. Suddenly, that dream trip to Italy is no longer a dream. That classic car you've been drooling over since high school? It's parked in your driveway that you're not just finding a rare coin. You're changing your reality. You're giving your family a story that begins with, "One day, I found a penny." Could you have another $1 million coin? The 1964 D penny isn't the only treasure hiding in your collection. There are other coins, nickels, quarters, even modern coins, worth tens or hundreds of thousands that in our next video. We're going to uncover one such coin that's currently selling for over $2 million, and it might already be in your possession. If a penny can be worth nearly $1 million, what's the real value of what's sitting in your home right now? If you found this video eye-opening, subscribe right now and turn on that notification bell. You don't want to miss the next $1 million coin we reveal. And hey, if you've got a 1964 D penny sitting in your drawer, tell us in the comments. Your story could be the next one we feature. It's not just a penny, it's potential, and it could be your ticket to the life you've always wanted. Have you ever handed over a penny, thinking it was worthless, just a piece of copper, and later found out you gave away nearly $1 million? Right now, there are 2005 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent pennies floating around in pockets, jars, and couch cushions across the country, and some of them are worth up to $997,000. That's not a typo. That's life-changing money disguised as loose change. You might be thinking, a penny? Really? Isn't that what I used to scrape gum off my shoe? Exactly. And that's the danger. Because in a world where we chase stocks, crypto, and side hustles, the real treasure might already be in your home. And if you're over 30, chances are you've seen or held one of these rare pennies without even knowing. In this video, I'm going to take you on a journey out. From the creation of the 2005 Lincoln penny to the shocking reason why some of them are now worth almost $1 million. By the end, you'll know what to look for, how to sell it, and how that tiny coin can catapult you into the lifestyle you've always wanted. And trust me, you'll want to stick around until the end, because there's a hidden twist that even some seasoned collectors miss. Miss it, and you could walk right past your fortune. Back in 2005, the U.S. Mint produced millions of Lincoln pennies. At first glance, they all look the same copper plating, same stern-faced Lincoln, same old coin you've seen since childhood. Some of these pennies, specifically those without a mint mark, meaning no little letter under the year, weren't just ordinary. They were mistakes. And in the world of coin collecting, mistakes mean money. Wait, a missing mint mark? Isn't that just a printing glitch? These error coins are the result of a rare minting anomaly. In some cases, the die used to stamp the coin didn't include a mint mark. But it gets better, or worse, depending on whether you kept yours. A small batch of 2005 pennies had other peculiarities: double die errors, misaligned stamps, off-center strikes, all of which elevate their value to insane levels. And one particular 2005 no mint mark penny, in pristine condition, was appraised at $997,000. Now, take a second and think about every time you've tossed a penny aside or vacuumed one off the floor. That's the feeling of fear, the fear of missing out on an opportunity sitting right under your nose. If this penny could talk, it would probably say, "Hey genius, I've been here the whole time, and you just shoved me in a drawer behind expired coupons." So, how do you find out if you've got the $1 million version? But first, let me hit you with a wild fact. You know that plastic piggy bank collecting dust in your kid's room? The one shaped like Spider-Man with one eye missing? That thing might just be your retirement plan. Funny how Spider-Man's motto is, "With great power comes great responsibility." Well, in this case, with great pocket change comes great wealth. If there's no mint mark, you're on the right track. Use a magnifying glass to check for doubling. Look closely at Lincoln's eyes, the letters in Liberty, and "In God We Trust." Is the coin slightly off-center? That's another valuable error. If the copper tone is unusually shiny or dull, it may be a rare die variety. These coins are being bought up fast by collectors. Once they're in private collections, they rarely hit the market again. And every day that passes, another one disappears from circulation forever. If you're sitting on one and don't know it, you're losing time and possibly a fortune. You don't just list it on eBay for $1.50 and hope for the best. Services like PCGS or NGC will authenticate and grade your coin. Higher the grade, higher the value. But not just any dealer. Look for one with a history of handling rare pennies. Know the minimum you'll accept, especially if you're auctioning it. Know your market. These rare coins fetch the highest prices at major auctions like Heritage or Stacksbauer's. One man in Ohio found a rare penny in a cup holder of his 1999 Buick. He had no idea it was valuable until a buddy mentioned it during a backyard barbecue. That penny? Sold at auction for nearly $800,000. He used the money to pay off his house, buy a lakeside cabin, and now runs a fishing YouTube channel full-time. The 2005 no mint mark penny isn't the only sleeper coin out there. In fact, there's another penny, even more common, that's quietly climbing past $1.2 million, and it might already be in your wallet. Then subscribe, tap the bell, and watch the next video I've got waiting for you. Because this next coin could be the one. And remember, the change in your pocket may just be the change that transforms your life. Have you ever held on to something for years, not knowing it could change your life? Maybe it's tucked inside a jar, forgotten in a kitchen drawer. A 1976 D. Abraham Lincoln penny. Seems ordinary, right? But what if I told you that this seemingly humble coin could be worth up to $687,000 right now, and some rare varieties have crossed the $1 million mark? Yes, a penny. Just 1 cent. The kind you probably walked past in a parking lot this morning. Before you dismiss it, ask yourself, what if that little brown coin is your ticket to financial freedom? What if you've been holding on to wealth disguised as spare change? Today, I'm going to walk you through the true value of the 1976 D. Lincoln penny, the rare varieties that are shaking up the coin world, and how you can spot one that could change your life. This is not just a video about coins. This is about transformation. About finding value in what others overlook. Let's uncover what might just be the $1 million secret hiding in plain sight. In 1976, while the country celebrated its bicentennial with special quarters, half dollars, and dollar coins, the humble penny remained unchanged, quietly circulating, unnoticed, with Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But at the Denver Mint, something unusual happened. Several batches of pennies were struck with subtle errors and characteristics that now make them some of the rarest coins in U.S. history. These aren't your average pocket change. We're talking die errors, off-center strikes, and coins made from experimental planchets. Someone finds a 1976 D penny in a cigar box and sells it for nearly $700,000. That's not fiction. That's the real, current market for verified rare versions of this coin. Now, take a deep breath, because it's about to get more interesting. There are 3 main factors that determine whether your 1976 D penny is worth face value, or enough to buy a luxury home. First, condition. Mint state coins, especially MS65 and higher, are the holy grail. These coins have never seen circulation. They're crisp, detailed, and free of scratches. A penny like this could command thousands, even tens of thousands, at auction. Second, errors and varieties. Look for off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, and unusual coloration. These mistakes make collectors drool and bidding wars break out like it's Black Friday at a gold store. Third, metal composition. While most 1976 D pennies are copper, rumors have swirled for years about experimental planchets, possibly zinc or bronze hybrids, being used in limited numbers. If you find one of those, let's just say early retirement is on the table. Quick question. When was the last time you really looked at the pennies in your change jar? Or have they just been sitting there, like tiny copper lottery tickets, waiting for the right moment? Let me tell you about Dave. Retired truck driver from Ohio. Loved fishing, hated clutter. One day, he was cleaning out his garage and found a rusty old coffee can filled with pennies. He was about to dump them at the Coinstar, but something told him to check a few first. He found a 1976 D. Lincoln penny with a faint doubling on the date and a strange sheen. He sent it to a grading service just out of curiosity. Turns out, it was a rare die variety in pristine condition, sold it for $312,000 at auction. Dave cried when he saw the wire hit his account. Said it felt like winning the lottery, only better because he didn't even have to buy a ticket. How many Dave moments are still waiting to be discovered? You might be thinking, okay, this all sounds great, but how do I know if my 1976 D penny is valuable? Check the mint mark. Make sure it's a 1976 D, struck in Denver. Examine the condition. If it looks uncirculated, no scratches, no discoloration, you may have a contender. Look for errors. Get a magnifying glass. Inspect the date, the letters, Lincoln's profile, the edges. Any doubling, off-centering, or strange marks? That's a clue. Weigh it. A standard copper penny from 1976 should weigh 3.11 grams. If yours is lighter or heavier, you might be holding a rare planchet. Send it to be graded. Use reputable services like PCGS or NGC. A professional grade could multiply your coin's value exponentially. Don't just guess. Don't leave it up to chance. One small decision could be the start of a very different lifestyle. Here's the thing. Most people will walk past a penny on the street and not even bother to bend down. But you? You watch this far because you see potential. You know that wealth doesn't always announce itself with gold and glitter. Sometimes it's hiding in copper. They look closer. They pay attention. They act. So here's your call to action. Go grab your jar, your coin books, your loose change drawer. Check every 1976 D penny. If you find something unusual, don't hesitate. Get it appraised. Get it graded. That coin could be your opportunity to change your story forever. And if you don't have one yet, keep looking. Keep learning. Subscribe right now because in the next video, we'll reveal the Lincoln penny that sold for over $1.8 million and why you may already own its twin. Have you ever looked at a penny and thought, this can't be worth much, right? Well, prepare to have your mind blown. What if I told you that some of those seemingly ordinary pennies you might have tossed aside without a second thought, could be worth up to $899,000? Yes, you heard that right. It's a rare treasure hidden right in your pocket. And today, we're diving deep into one of the most incredible finds in coin collecting history. I'm talking about the 1986 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. In this video, we're not just talking about a coin. We're talking about an investment opportunity, something that could change your financial future. So stay tuned, because you might just be sitting on a small fortune. Let's take a step back. Picture it. The year is 1986. Reagan is in the White House. Mullets are all the rage. And your dad is probably looking at you with his hand full of loose change. But what you might not know is that among those coins, yes, those pennies that you probably never thought twice about, there was one that would become a hidden gem in the coin world. You see, the 1986 penny that has no mint mark is extremely rare. The US Mint didn't expect this error to happen, and it slipped through the cracks. Most of the 1986 pennies had a mint mark, signifying they were produced in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But a small handful were released without the mint mark. These errors are often called no mint mark pennies. And if you have one of these, you could be holding a piece of history that's worth nearly $900,000 today. This isn't just about coins. This is about a rare opportunity that could change everything. But let's be real for a moment. How many of us are actually paying attention to the pennies in our pockets? Some of us probably think they're only worth their weight in copper. But here's the truth. You might just have one of the most valuable pennies in existence, and it could be gathering dust in your drawer right now. Pause for effect. So, what makes this penny so valuable? The story begins with its rarity. You know what they say, the rarer, the better. But there's more to it than just the lack of a mint mark. These coins are linked to a unique piece of American history, and collectors are salivating at the thought of adding one to their collection. Okay, now that you're curious, let's talk about the hunt. Finding one of these rare pennies isn't exactly like finding loose change in the couch cushions. I wish, right? But it's not as impossible as you might think either. The key is understanding that the US Mint didn't print a lot of these coins without a mint mark. We're talking about a needle in a haystack, which makes it all the more exciting when you finally find one. Imagine this. You're sitting at home, sifting through your old penny jar or going through a box of change you found in the back of the closet. Maybe you haven't even thought to look for something rare until today. You pull out a coin, take a closer look, and your heart stops for a moment. Could this penny you're holding be worth $899,000? The excitement, the rush, it's all real. But you need to know how to identify it. It's not just about seeing the year and hoping for the best. This is about the details, the mint mark or lack thereof, the condition of the coin, and whether it's in circulated or uncirculated form. And here's where the fear kicks in. What if you don't know how to spot this penny? What if you accidentally throw it in with your regular change? Or, worse yet, sell it for a few bucks, never realizing the potential of what you had? This is why you need to pay close attention. If you spot one of these coins, you'll want to get it professionally appraised, because the difference between $1 and $900,000 could come down to something as simple as a mint mark. All right, let's say you found the coin. What now? I know, it's tempting to immediately run to the nearest coin dealer and cash in. But hold on, this is where it gets really interesting. Coins like these are valuable not just for their scarcity, but also because of the market for rare coins. The right buyer could be willing to pay top dollar for a coin that holds not just monetary value, but historical significance. Here's where things get serious. If you've got a mint condition 1986 no mint mark penny, you might want to consider your options carefully. You could sell it through an auction house, where high-profile collectors are waiting to pounce on these types of rare finds. Or you could find a private collector willing to make an offer that could blow your mind. But, and this is a big but, don't make the mistake of thinking you can just go online and start selling without proper research. There's a whole process involved in getting the best price. And trust me, you don't want to make the mistake of underpricing it or, worse, selling it to someone who doesn't know its worth. Cue dramatic pause. Are you starting to feel the excitement? The urgency? This is not a drill. This is your moment to strike while the iron is hot. But here's the cliffhanger. Before you jump in, there are still a few key things you need to know that could make or break your sale. And we're getting to that in just a moment. But first, let's pause here for a second. I know you're probably wondering, what else could possibly make this penny so valuable? Well, stick around, because in just a moment, I'll reveal a secret trick that can increase your coin's value even more. Stay tuned, because we're about to turn up the heat, and now that you're completely hooked, you've got the power, you've got the knowledge, and you've got the potential to turn a simple penny into a life-changing sum of money. Coin collecting isn't just a hobby. It's a gateway to wealth, especially when you know exactly what to look for. The 1986 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny might just be the golden ticket you've been waiting for. But it's not about waiting for the perfect moment to sell. It's about taking action now. Time is ticking. Who knows? The penny sitting in your collection could very well be your ticket to a new lifestyle. Hey, coin lovers and future millionaires, let me ask you something. What if the next penny you come across in your pocket or that old jar could be worth nearly $1 million? No joke. I'm talking about a penny that's been sitting in your collection, possibly right now, worth a fortune. Sound too good to be true? Well, buckle up, because you might just be holding a rare 2019 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny that's worth $989,000. Yes, you heard that right. But here's the catch. You probably don't even know you have it yet. But by the end of this video, you will. Stick around, because this penny could change your life. Now, let's take a step back. How many of you have heard the term no mint mark and just brushed it off? I get it. Most people think it's just a small detail. But trust me, this is one of the most important features to look for. Let me explain. In 2019, something interesting happened with the US Mint. The Philadelphia Mint, for reasons still debated by numismatists and collectors, decided to omit the mint mark on certain pennies that year. Normally, you'd expect a small P to be stamped on each coin from Philadelphia, but no, for some reason, this year, they didn't. It sounds insignificant, but this tiny detail has made these coins rare and highly valuable. So, the next time you get a penny, take a second to check, because you might just have a golden ticket in your hands. Now, I know some of you might be sitting there thinking, okay, I get it, rare coin, big deal. But here's the thing, it's not just any rare coin. This penny could be one of the most sought-after pieces in modern US coinage. And it's not just worth a few extra bucks, either. We're talking nearly $1 million in today's market. Think about that for a second. You've been walking past change that could secure your financial future. Crazy, right? But here's the kicker. It's not just about finding these rare coins. It's about knowing what to do with them once you find them. And that's exactly what we're going to dive into. Now, let's break down why this penny has this jaw-dropping value. First off, the 2019 no mint mark penny is part of a small, but growing collection of error coins. Because the US Mint didn't stamp the mint mark, these pennies are considered errors. And let me tell you, Error coins are one of the most valuable kinds of coins out there. But here's where the excitement really kicks in. While most people think their change jar is just filled with pennies, it's actually an opportunity to strike gold. Imagine if you found this penny among hundreds of other coins that all look the same. The chances of finding one are slim, sure, but that's what makes it even more exciting. Because if you find one, it could change your life. And here's where things get even more interesting. The market value of these coins is currently sitting at a staggering $989,000. That's right, under $11,000 shy of $1 million for a single penny. I know, it sounds like something out of a treasure hunt movie, but it's real, and it's happening right now. There's a growing community of collectors who are willing to pay top dollar for these 2019 no-mint mark pennies. Experts are already predicting that the value of these pennies could continue to rise as fewer and fewer are discovered. So, the longer you wait to find one, the more expensive it might become. The demand is only going to increase, which means if you're holding on to one of these pennies, you might just be holding on to the key to your financial future. I bet this is the part where you tell me that every 2019 penny is worth a fortune, right? Well, if you've got thousands of pennies at home, and you're thinking you'll get $1 million for your next load of change at the bank, I hate to break it to you. It doesn't work like that. But hey, wouldn't it be nice if it did? Imagine the look on the teller's face when you walk in with a bag full of pennies worth $1 million. You'd have to buy them lunch. Now, let's talk about how you can actually find, authenticate, and sell this rare coin. This is where it gets a little tricky, but don't worry, I've got you covered. Step 1. Checking for the absence of the mint mark. Look for a penny from 2019 that's missing the P mint mark. If you can't see it, you might have a winner on your hands. But here's the catch. Not every 2019 penny without a mint mark is worth big money. That's why it's crucial to carefully examine the condition of the coin and how rare it is. The best quality pennies fetch the highest price. Authentication. Now, don't just rush to your local coin shop. Many of these pennies, if not authenticated correctly, could be mistaken for common coins. You'll want to have it graded by a reputable third-party company. This ensures that potential buyers know you're not trying to pull a fast one. Selling the coin. You found a rare gem, authenticated it, and now you're ready to cash in. But where do you sell it? You can go through a professional auction house, or even specialized online platforms where collectors are waiting to snatch up a coin like yours. Just be mindful of the fees associated with selling, and make sure you're getting the best price before you run off to search through your coin jar. Here's the most important thing you need to know. While some of these 2019 no-mint mark pennies can sell for a fortune, they're not all created equal. There are crucial factors you need to understand about the condition and rarity of these coins. And trust me, if you miss one small detail, you could be leaving a lot of money on the table. Because in just a few moments, I'm going to share the one thing you absolutely cannot miss if you want to ensure you're getting top dollar for your rare pennies. This could be the most important tip of all. Don't go anywhere, because you won't believe what I'm about to reveal. Alright, so here's where the rubber hits the road. Finding a 2019 no-mint mark penny might sound like a needle in a haystack, but it's out there. The key is knowing where to look, what to look for, and how to make sure you're getting the highest possible value. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to potentially turn a simple penny into a life-changing sum of money. But the clock is ticking. The longer you wait, the more likely someone else might find what you're looking for. So start checking your pennies now, who knows? The next one you find could be the last missing piece to your financial puzzle. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. You don't want to miss the next treasure hunt. And remember, your journey to coin collecting riches starts right now. Imagine finding a penny in your pocket, one that's been sitting there for years, maybe decades. Now, what if I told you that penny could be worth over $778,000? That's right, 1 cent could change your life forever. But here's the kicker. This isn't some random penny. It's a rare 1989 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1 cent penny. If you're sitting there thinking, there's no way a penny is worth that much, stick with me. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why it could be sitting in your collection and how you could cash in on it. So, before you roll your eyes or check the change in your pocket, hit that like button, because you're about to hear something that will make you think twice about every penny you've ever passed up. You know that feeling when you stumble upon something you didn't know you had? Maybe it was a forgotten book in the back of your closet, or that old coin you thought was worthless. But then, you find out it's worth more than you ever imagined. That's the story of the 1989 no-mint mark penny. Most people don't realize the value of what's hidden right in front of them. This isn't just a story about any penny. This is about a specific kind of penny. See, in 1989, the US Mint made a mistake. It didn't place the mint mark on certain pennies. Most of these pennies were released into circulation, and they got lost in the shuffle, while others ended up in the hands of collectors. But the ones that made it to the right people, those people who know what to look for, are worth a small fortune today. Imagine the rush of realizing that the coin you once overlooked is now worth more than some homes. Yeah, that's the power of a rare coin. Okay, this sounds great, but how do I know if I've got one of these? Well, that's the million-dollar question, literally. But before you go tearing through your collection, let's break it down a bit. You see, the 1989 no mint mark penny doesn't just pop up out of nowhere. You won't find it on a shelf at the local coin store. The rarity comes from the minting error itself. So, the key lies in the fact that there is no mint mark, just a smooth, unmarked space on the reverse side where there should be a tiny D or S for Denver or San Francisco. Now, let's talk about how rare these are. There were millions of pennies minted in 1989, but only a small fraction of them were produced without a mint mark. That makes these pennies incredibly hard to find. You could go through thousands of pennies and still miss one. But if you have it, you could be sitting on a gold mine. Cliffhanger, but how do you sell this penny? And more importantly, how do you ensure you get the full value? Stick around because later, I'll show you exactly what you need to do to make sure you're not shortchanged. Now, here's where things get really interesting. The market value of a 1989 no mint mark penny is a staggering $778,000. But don't let that number get to your head just yet. There's a catch. You need to be careful about who you trust with your precious find. A penny worth this much doesn't just sell itself. It takes time, effort, and knowing where to go to get the highest return. But don't worry, you're not alone in this. There are specialists, auction houses, and platforms where you can get your coin authenticated and sell it for top dollar. The sooner you act, the better. But let's talk about urgency for a moment. Here's the thing. Time is of the essence. The coin market is constantly shifting, and once the word gets out about a new discovery like yours, the value can start to fluctuate. So, do you want to keep this hidden away for another decade or cash in on it now while the market's hot? You sell this penny for $778,000. You could pay off your mortgage, buy a new car, take that dream vacation to Hawaii. You could live the life you've always dreamed of, just by recognizing the hidden value in a penny. Yes, a penny, but you have to act fast. People are out there scouring their change, looking for that one special coin. Every day that goes by, someone else might find one before you. So, don't wait too long. If you have this penny, you have a rare chance to change your life. If you have a 1989 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny, you might be sitting on a fortune. But you need to act. Don't let this opportunity slip away. If you're not sure whether you've got one, get your coins checked by a professional now, not later. And if you've already found your rare penny, start looking into how to get it appraised and sold. Don't let fear of making a mistake stop you from seizing the opportunity. The market is there, the buyers are ready, and it's up to you to grab the wealth you deserve. So, what are you waiting for? Go check your coins. Don't let a penny stand between you and a new life. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, because you won't want to miss out on the next big coin discovery that could be hiding in your pocket right now. What if I told you that a simple penny from 2006 could be sitting in your coin jar right now, waiting to make you $758,000 richer? No, I'm not talking about a miracle. I'm talking about the 2006 D. Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin so rare that it's worth more than most people's cars. And if you've been tossing old pennies into that jar, you might want to double check. Because this particular penny might just change your life. But here's the catch. Not all of these pennies are worth millions. And if you want to turn your pennies into wealth, you need to know what to look for. Stick around, because today, I'm going to show you exactly what makes the 2006 D penny worth nearly $1 million and how you can cash in on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The fascinating world of rare coins now. I know what you're thinking. A penny is just a penny, right? Well, not always. Rare coins, like the 2006 D. Lincoln penny, have the potential to fetch huge amounts of money, much more than the face value you're used to. And what's even more exciting is that most of the population has no clue about these treasures lurking in their homes. So why should you care? Well, for starters, this coin isn't just a collector's item. It's a high-stakes investment with an estimated market value of $758,000. If you think about it, that's a small fortune just waiting to be discovered. And all it takes is knowing how to spot the right one. The rare coin market. Big money is out there. Let's take a look at the coin market. You might have heard of some big sales in recent years, with rare pennies, nickels, and dimes selling for hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of dollars. These aren't just lucky finds. These are coins that have been meticulously studied, identified, and then sold to the highest bidder. Now, the 2006 D. Lincoln penny isn't like your average coin. It's one of those one-in-a-million finds. And if you're wondering, how do I even know if I've got one? Well, you're in the right place. I'm going to walk you through exactly what you need to look for so that you don't miss out on potentially life-changing money. The story behind the 2006 D. Lincoln penny. In 2006, the U.S. Mint produced millions of these pennies, but only a few had a particular flaw that makes them so desirable today. You see, the 2006 D penny wasn't supposed to have certain characteristics, but due to a mistake during production, some of these pennies ended up with distinct features that only a trained eye can spot. These pennies have become extremely valuable. Now, before you start thinking your 2006 D penny is automatically worth $758,000, let me explain how rarity works. Not every 2006 D penny is worth this much. In fact, the vast majority are worth face value or a little more. But if you've got one with the specific characteristics I'm about to outline, you could be holding on to a gold mine. What makes the 2006 D penny worth $758,000? The key to this coin's value lies in its condition and the minting error. When the 2006 D penny was produced, a small but critical mistake occurred during the minting process. This created a double die error, a design flaw where the image on the coin was stamped twice, creating a blurry, layered effect. But here's the catch. Only a few of these pennies actually made it into circulation. So, if you happen to find one, it's as rare as finding a needle in a haystack. And if that needle is in mint condition, you could be looking at a coin worth close to $758,000. Let's break down the details you need to know. To identify this coin, you'll need to carefully inspect the Lincoln portrait and the date. Look for subtle double imprints on both. It might sound tricky, but trust me, once you know what to look for, it'll be hard to miss. Don't wait. If you've got a stash of old pennies sitting in a drawer, don't wait too long. The coin market is hot right now, and you don't want to be the person who missed out. If you wait too long to check your pennies, the market might shift, and you could lose the chance to cash in on this unique opportunity. How to sell your rare penny for maximum profit. Now that you know how to spot the 2006 D penny and understand its immense value, the next question is, how do you sell it? Well, the first thing you need to do is get it authenticated. Don't just take someone's word for it. Get it verified by a professional grading service. This will ensure that your penny is graded properly and fetches the maximum price when you sell it. Once authenticated, it's time to connect with reputable dealers, auction houses, or even online marketplaces where rare coins are bought and sold. The key is finding the right buyer who understands the value of your penny and is willing to pay top dollar for it. The million-dollar question, but here's where it gets even more exciting. The moment you sell your rare penny, it's not just about the money. It's about transforming your lifestyle. You'll be able to invest in new opportunities, upgrade your home, or even travel the world, all thanks to a little coin you found in your pocket. Selling rare coins can be an absolute game changer. The excitement, the fear of missing out, the thought of what this newfound wealth can do for you. It's all part of the journey. But one thing is for sure, if you play your cards right, you could be living the lifestyle you've always dreamed of. The secret to even more rare finds. But wait, what if I told you there are even more pennies like this out there, coins worth even more than $758,000? Stay tuned, because in my next video, I'm going to reveal some of the other hidden treasures you might be overlooking. You won't want to miss it, because if you think the 2006 D penny is rare, you haven't seen anything yet. In conclusion, the 2006 D Lincoln penny isn't just a coin, it's an opportunity. An opportunity for you to tap into a hidden world of wealth that most people don't even know exists. So, take a closer look at your pennies, get them authenticated, and start the process of turning your coins into cash. One penny could change your life forever. And remember, time is of the essence. The coin market waits for no one. Hey there, coin enthusiasts. Do you have a penny sitting around from 1994? It might just be worth way more than you think. I'm talking about a penny that could change your life forever. No, this isn't some sort of get-rich-quick scheme. This is real. We're diving deep into the 1994 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny coin and its current market value of a whopping $966,000. Stay with me, because you won't believe how close you might be to your own coin fortune. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. That sounds too good to be true. But stick around, because I'm going to prove it to you. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for in your collection and how you could cash in on a hidden treasure. This might just be the most important penny in your pocket. Let's start at the beginning. The 1994 penny, right? You've probably come across one or two of these over the years. After all, they're everywhere. But here's the twist. Not all 1994 pennies are created equal. The one I'm talking about, the one worth close to $1 million, has a unique characteristic. It's got no mint mark. That's right. This coin was made in Philadelphia, where they didn't stamp the P mint mark onto the coin. It's an error that makes this penny incredibly rare, and right now, it could fetch you nearly $1 million if you find the right buyer. Now imagine this. You're sitting on a coin worth almost $1 million and you didn't even know it. It's the kind of discovery that could change everything. You might not be the only one hunting for it. The demand for rare, high-value pennies like this is climbing, and if you wait too long, someone else might snatch it up. So, how do you know if you've got the right penny? Let's take a closer look. Now, let's break it down. The 1994 no mint mark penny is one of the most sought-after errors in modern U.S. coinage. It's not just about the rarity, it's about the fact that it slipped through the cracks. The mint didn't plan for this error, and as a result, this penny stands out in the world of collectors. To put it into perspective, coins with similar types of errors, like missing mint marks or double dies, have sold for hundreds of thousands or even millions in the past. Are you sitting down yet? If not, you might want to, because here's the crazy part. It's not just any 1994 penny that holds this value. There's a very specific list of conditions that make this penny worth its weight in gold. Well, actually, more than gold at this point. It's in the condition, the exact error, and the demand from collectors who are willing to pay top dollar. But how do you tell if your 1994 penny is worth hundreds of thousands? I'm going to show you exactly what to look for, and trust me, it's not as easy as just glancing at a coin and calling it good. There are critical details that could make or break the sale. Stay with me, because I'll reveal those secrets in just a minute. All right, you've got your penny. It's a 1994 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1 cent, and it might just be the golden ticket you've been waiting for. But how do you turn that penny into cash, big cash? This is where it gets really interesting. First, you need to get that coin authenticated. No, you can't just go down to your local pawn shop and expect them to know what it's worth. Get in touch with a reputable coin grading service, someone who can certify the rarity and condition of your coin. It's an important step because the authenticity of your penny will make or break its value. Without this certification, you won't be able to command top dollar. There are a lot of fakes out there. People trying to sell imitation coins that look close enough to trick you. So if you don't authenticate properly, you could end up losing out on a fortune. Don't let that happen to you. Once you've got that certification, it's time to put your penny up for sale. You can auction it off at one of the top coin auction houses, or you can even list it on trusted online platforms where collectors are actively hunting for rare finds. But be careful. Like I said, the demand for these coins is rising, so don't jump on the first offer you get. You want to make sure you're getting the best price possible, and who wouldn't be? But what happens after you sell it? How can you make sure you get the best deal and not leave money on the table? Stick with me, because I'm going to share with you the best tips and tricks to maximize your sale. You'll want to pay close attention to this part. So, you've got the rare 1994 penny, you've authenticated it, and you're getting ready to sell it for a small fortune. But before you rush to make that sale, there's one last crucial step you absolutely cannot skip. It's a simple trick that could boost the final sale price of your penny by thousands of dollars. Don't go anywhere, because this little-known strategy is about to change the way you think about rare coin sales. Now, if you're sitting on a 1994 no mint mark penny, and you're realizing that you might have a small fortune right in your pocket, you're probably feeling a mix of excitement and maybe even a bit of fear. Don't worry, I'm here to guide you through this process and make sure you get top dollar for your treasure. But time is of the essence. The coin market is hot, and collectors are always on the lookout for pennies like this. Don't wait too long, or you might miss out on your chance to cash in. Start checking your collection today, because that penny could be worth a lot more than you ever imagined. Imagine this. You've got a jar of old pennies lying around. Maybe you've tossed them aside, thinking they're just clutter, like any other coin. But what if I told you one of those pennies could be worth nearly $1 million? Yes, you heard that right. One single penny, worth far more than its face value. And if you've got a 1967 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, you might be sitting on a hidden gold mine. Stick around, Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how much that penny might be worth and how to cash in on it before it's too late. All right, let's set the stage here. Imagine waking up tomorrow and finding out that one of the pennies you've had sitting in a drawer for decades could be worth $866,000. Sounds like a fantasy, right? But it's not. The 1967 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is one of the rarest coins in circulation, and people are actively looking for it. Why? Because it's incredibly rare and incredibly valuable. The key here is the mint mark, or rather, the lack of it. In 1967, the U.S. Mint was supposed to put a mint mark on all the pennies, indicating where it was struck. However, some 1967 pennies were mistakenly made without a mint mark. This small error makes them highly sought after by collectors. It's a rarity that doesn't come by often, and when it does, it's worth a lot more than just 1 cent now. Imagine you're digging through a box of coins you've inherited or collected over the years. You come across a 1967 penny, but wait, there's no mint mark. What do you do next? Should you keep it or just toss it in with the rest of your pennies? Let's take a quick break from all the serious talk about coins. Can you imagine the look on your face when you realize you've been walking around with nearly $1 million in your pocket this whole time? I mean, how could something as small and unassuming as a penny be worth so much? It's crazy, right? But it's true, and there's a reason these coins are so rare. Let's dive into that. Now that you know the 1967 no-mint mark penny is rare, let's talk about why it's worth so much. In the world of coin collecting, rarity is king. And the 1967 no-mint mark penny, with its unique error, is one of those rare finds that turns heads in the coin market. The current market value for a well-preserved 1967 no-mint mark penny is around $866,000. Yes, nearly $1 million for a penny. But here's the catch. Not all 1967 pennies are worth that much. The condition of the coin plays a huge role. If your penny is tarnished, scratched, or bent, its value will be significantly lower. But if you've got one in pristine condition, you could be sitting on a fortune. The key to cashing in on this treasure is knowing how to spot these coins and understanding how to get the best price for them. You can't just take any old penny to your local pawn shop and expect them to recognize the value. You need to know where to sell it, how to authenticate it, and how to negotiate the best price. Here's where things get exciting. The demand for these rare pennies has been skyrocketing in recent years, with collectors and investors looking for rarer and rarer pieces to complete their collections. The 1967 no-mint mark penny is on their radar. And when something's in demand, the price goes up and up and up. Before you start running to your attic or basement to search through old coin jars, there's something important you need to know about the coins market and how to ensure you're getting the highest price possible. How to turn that 1967 no-mint mark penny into real wealth. You might be wondering, is it really that simple to sell my penny for hundreds of thousands of dollars? And the answer is yes, if you know how to play the game. First, you need to get your penny professionally graded. This is where things can get a little tricky. The condition of your coin is crucial, and professional grading will give you a clear idea of how much your penny is worth. If your penny gets a high grade, you could be looking at the top end of that $866,000 market value, or even more. Once you have that professional grade, it's time to find the right buyer. You can't just sell it to anyone. You want to work with reputable dealers, collectors, or auction houses who specialize in rare coins. They'll know exactly what your penny is worth and be able to get you top dollar for it. This all sounds great, but is it really realistic? Are people actually paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for old pennies? Well, let me ask you, would you spend $866,000 on a coin? Because someone, somewhere, will. It's all about finding that right person, that right market, and that right time. Now, here's the part that might surprise you. These pennies aren't just valuable because of their rarity. There's an emotional aspect to collecting coins. People love the thrill of owning something that others don't have. They get excited by the idea of holding on to history, of owning a piece of the past that could change their future. And that's where the real money is. But what if I told you there's one more step in the process that could increase your penny's value even more? Stick around, because I'll reveal that secret in just a moment. The 1967 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is a rare, valuable, and incredibly lucrative find. If you're lucky enough to have one, you could be sitting on a potential windfall of hundreds of thousands of dollars. But there's more to it than just having the coin. You've got to understand the market, get your penny professionally graded, and sell it through the right channels to maximize its value. Remember, this isn't just about finding a rare coin. It's about taking action, knowing what to look for, and seizing the opportunity when it arises. Time is of the essence, and the longer you wait, the more likely someone else will snatch up that fortune right from under you. Start looking through your pennies, get that 1967 no mint mark coin authenticated, and get it out into the market before someone else gets their hands on it. The clock is ticking, and the next big payday could be just a penny away. If you've got a 1967 penny or any other rare coin lying around, don't wait. Check its value today, and who knows? You could be the next person to cash in on this rare coin market. Thanks for watching, and make sure to hit that subscribe button for more tips on how to find hidden treasures in your spare change. You might want to stop scrolling. That change you've been ignoring in your drawer for years could actually be worth a fortune. Imagine finding a coin that could be your ticket to a life of luxury. Sounds too good to be true? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you why the 2017 D. Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny could change your financial future forever. Trust me, you'll want to stick around for this. Now, before you start thinking, oh, it's just a penny, who cares? Stop right there. I get it. A penny doesn't sound like a game changer. But what if I told you that there's a rare version of this penny that's worth almost $900,000? Yes, you heard that right. Stick with me, and I'll explain how you might have one of these in your collection, or how you could find one soon. You might be thinking, how in the world is this possible? Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes this penny so valuable and how to cash in on it. And just wait until I share the secret to identifying this penny. It's simpler than you think, but the payoff? Massive. Let me start with a little story. Picture this. You're at home, scrolling through old coins you've collected over the years, a few random pennies, a few old dimes. They don't seem special at first glance. But one day, you hear about a rare coin worth a fortune, and it gets you thinking, could one of these old pennies be the jackpot? The 2017 D. Abraham Lincoln penny is one of those hidden treasures you never see coming. You might already have it in your collection or simply have it lying around in a box or drawer, gathering dust. Now, here's where the story gets interesting. The 2017 D. penny, a coin that millions of Americans might overlook, is worth up to $896,000 in today's market. That's not a typo. And if you're wondering why, it's all about the unique characteristics of this particular penny, and let me tell you, the hunt for rare coins has never been more exciting. Imagine holding on to this penny, thinking it's just another coin, and suddenly realizing it's worth nearly $1 million. Can you feel that excitement bubbling up? Your heart racing just thinking about it? That's how quickly things can change when you know what to look for. What's so special about this coin? Why is it worth so much? Let's dive into the details. First, let's talk about the specifics. Why is the 2017 D. Abraham Lincoln penny so valuable? To understand this, you need to know a little about coin collecting. Generally, a coin is worth more when it's rare, in mint condition, and has unique characteristics that collectors want. In the case of the 2017 D. penny, this coin has a rare minting error. It's not just any regular penny. This one's got a story. There was a mistake during its minting process, making it unique compared to other 2017 pennies. Finding one of these isn't easy. The 2017 D. penny you're looking for isn't something you'll find every day at the corner store. In fact, many of these errors were melted down and lost in the shuffle of everyday circulation. That means the number of these coins still in circulation is incredibly limited. That's why if you find one, you've hit the jackpot. You see, this coin isn't just valuable because it's a rare error. It's also a symbol of a changing market. Coin collectors are willing to pay big money for mistakes like this because they're a tangible piece of history. The more people realize just how rare these coins are, the higher the demand gets, and the higher the price tag climbs. Think you'll just walk into a coin shop and find one of these pennies? Well, that's like expecting to find a needle in a haystack. Not going to happen unless you know what you're doing. But don't worry, I'm here to guide you. So, now that you know what makes this penny special, let's talk about how you can find one. But here's the catch. Not every 2017 D. penny is valuable. You need to know what you're looking for. This is where things get a bit tricky. Let me show you exactly what to check for. Here's the golden question. How do you know if your penny is one of the rare ones worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? It's simple, but it requires some attention to detail. You need to inspect the mint mark closely. This specific penny comes from the Denver Mint, and only a small batch of them had the error that gives them their value. You'll want to check the design for any anomalies, including doubling or misprints on the lettering, or even irregularities on Abraham Lincoln's image. If you don't know what you're looking for, you might miss it. Imagine selling a penny for pocket change and realizing later that it was worth a fortune. Don't let that happen to you. The good news? You don't have to go this alone. Now, you're probably wondering, how do I sell this penny? Great question. You've got options: online auctions, coin dealers, and even coin grading services. The higher the grade, the higher the price. Don't settle for less than what it's worth. And the best part? You can potentially make life-changing money from a single penny. But don't wait. These coins are getting harder to find by the day. Before I wrap up, there's one crucial tip I'm going to share with you that could make the difference between selling for a few $100 and making close to $1 million. Stick around for a quick moment, and I'll reveal it. The 2017 D. Abraham Lincoln penny isn't just a coin. It's a potential treasure. A single penny could change your life, but only if you know how to spot it, value it, and sell it for the big bucks. Time is of the essence. The longer you wait, the fewer of these coins will be left in circulation. Remember, this isn't just about getting rich quick. It's about understanding the power of rare finds and acting on them when the opportunity arises. So, go check your drawers, your coin jars, and those dusty old boxes. You never know. That one penny might just be your ticket to the wealth you've always dreamed of. If you found this video valuable, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell icon, and share this with anyone who needs to know about this rare penny. You never know, they might just find one too. And hey, if you've already found one of these pennies or have any questions, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Imagine holding a penny in your hand that could change your life. Sounds unbelievable, right? But what if I told you that a 1961 D. Abraham Lincoln penny, one that you might have tossed aside, could be worth a staggering $696,000? Yes, you heard that right. A penny, not in perfect condition, not even in pristine packaging. Just one coin, with a story waiting to be discovered, could put you on the path to wealth. Keep watching, because what I'm about to reveal could change everything. Intro story: when I first heard about the 1961 D penny's worth, I thought it was a joke. I had a penny collection lying around in a drawer. You know, the ones we all throw in the back of our junk drawers, forgotten, unnoticed. But then, I learned about the hidden treasure that some of these pennies represent. And let me tell you, I wasn't the only one who had this aha moment. If you've got a 1961 D penny, today might be the most important day of your life. Build the urgency. If you think you're not sitting on a gold mine, then you're seriously underestimating your collection. There's money hidden in plain sight, and if you don't act fast, someone else will. You could be holding something that's about to put you on the path to luxury. But you need to know what to look for. Introduction to the 1961 D Lincoln penny. Let's start by understanding what makes the 1961 D penny so valuable. The coin was minted in Denver in 1961 as part of a regular series of Lincoln pennies. At first glance, it may seem like any other penny you've seen. After all, the coin isn't rare in terms of circulation. Millions of them were produced. But, and this is the crucial part, only a handful of these 1961 D pennies have a certain characteristic that makes them worth up to $696,000. Key value drivers: what makes these pennies so valuable? It's all about the details. The 1961 D penny is notable for its minting error. Some of these coins were struck with a die that was slightly worn out, resulting in a faint or weak strike on the coin's design. That subtle difference, something so minor that you might overlook it, is what separates the pennies worth pocket change from the ones worth $500,000. But how do you know if your coin is one of the lucky ones? Well, it's not about looking for the date on the penny, it's about the condition and the subtle imperfections. In fact, some of these pennies have a unique feature that's hard to spot unless you're a professional coin grader. That's right, finding the right 1961 D penny is like looking for a needle in a haystack. But trust me, it's possible. Pattern interrupt. Quick question. How many of us have dropped pennies on the ground, kicked them under the couch, or tossed them into the vending machine with barely a second thought? Don't lie. If you're like most people, you've probably lost a handful of rare pennies without ever knowing it. Imagine finding one of these $696,000 treasures in your couch cushions. Wouldn't that be a plot twist straight out of a movie? How to identify the coin? So, how do you separate the wheat from the chaff? If you have a 1961 D penny in your collection, you might be sitting on a fortune without even realizing it. Here's how you can identify it. First, look for the Denver mint mark on the reverse side. It's small and located just below the date. The mint mark D is a crucial piece of the puzzle. Without it, the penny is just another coin in the pile. Then, you need to carefully inspect the coin's design. Look for a weak or faded appearance of Abraham Lincoln's image, the words liberty, and even the "In God We Trust" inscription. This wear and tear is subtle, so don't expect to notice it right away. It's not just about wear, it's the type of wear that makes the coin more valuable. A full strike with a crisp image is standard, but for these pennies, it's the imperfection that holds the true value. Cliffhanger, but here's the kicker. This isn't just a matter of finding a 1961 D penny with wear. There's one more hidden detail that could change everything. And I promise you, if you find this next sign, it's like hitting the jackpot. Are you ready to find out what it is? Stay with me, because it's coming right up. The grading process and how to sell. Now that you know what to look for, let's talk about turning your penny into a small fortune. The next step is to get your 1961 D penny graded. This is where the pros come in. A professional coin grader will assess your coin based on its rarity, condition, and the presence of that key imperfection. Grading can be a bit tricky, but trust me, it's worth it when you know your coin could be worth hundreds of thousands. Once graded, you'll have the confidence to sell your penny. But don't rush into it just yet. A coin like this demands the right buyer, and you want to ensure you get top dollar for your treasure. You can sell it at auctions, through reputable dealers, or even directly to collectors who specialize in rare coins. But remember, this isn't a coin you want to just hand off to the first person who offers you a few bucks. Emotional trigger. I know what you're thinking. How many of you are frantically digging through your collections right now? It's that fear of missing out. What if you have one of these rare coins hidden away, and you just didn't know? Imagine what a life-changing amount of money could do for you and your family. We're talking about the chance to pay off debts, buy your dream home, or just live with peace of mind, knowing you've secured your financial future. Don't let fear paralyze you from acting now. Pattern interrupt, and hey, if you find a coin like this and make a fortune, just don't forget who told you about it, all right? A little gratitude goes a long way. Recap. So, what do you do now? Look through your pennies, check for that 1961 D with the faint strike, and get it graded. This could be your opportunity to change your life, but only if you act fast. You never know, the penny you've been ignoring might just be worth more than your car, your house, or even your retirement. The question is, are you ready to cash in? Call to action. If you found this information valuable, hit that like button, subscribe for more tips, and share this with your friends. Don't let them miss out on discovering hidden wealth in their own collections. And if you've already got a 1961 D penny in hand, don't waste another minute. Get it checked, because the longer you wait, the longer you risk missing the boat. Time is money, after all.